Welcome back into McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Cole, getting ready to hop on a plane, head to D.C. for the D.C. Defenders and the Dallas Renegades, well, Arlington Renegades, for tomorrow at 11 a.m. on ABC. So Damian Mitchell and John Saber here with you for the final hour, 205-834-9450. Your text message, your calls, always welcome here on Mac and Cube. Let me tell you about our friends at Train. Spring weather in Alabama is often unpredictable, but you can always rely on a Train home comfort system. And during their Spring Unstoppable event, you can receive up to $1,350 rebate on select Train home comfort systems. Learn more and find a comfort specialist near you at train.com. So just kind of recapping a little bit from the first 2 hours. Of course, the new media rights deal that Duke is going to have some select games on Amazon. How does that look towards the future of just some of the media rights as far as college athletics? Got a chance to talk about the rewards and freaking flyer miles and things like that. And also having some fun there in the last segment, just I guess Johnny and Cole having some flashbacks and just enjoying just some – listen, that's one of the things that, me being so young, Cole's asking me, what are the young people doing? Listen, I'm 30 years old now. Like that, my whole life has changed, getting ready to be a married man. And I'm about to join the old bunch. And it's happened a little bit quicker than expected. But we're talking about, some of the things in history. We also are going to have history tomorrow as the 152nd running of the Kentucky Derby. On with us today, one Dick Girardi, presented by our friends at betonline.ag. And Dick, kind of looking towards this Kentucky Derby. Listen, a lot of people are involved, and a lot of bets will be placed tomorrow. But kind of like give us a little bit of the layout of the land of what to expect tomorrow in the Kentucky Derby.
So 20 horses will be in the starting gate. We've actually had 3 scratch this week, one Wednesday, one yesterday, one today. But that doesn't mean we'll only have 17 horses. There were 4 on what's known as the also eligible list. So they'll now be in the starting gate. So we'll have 20. And the favorite at BetOnline at the moment is Renegade at 5-1. He's the Arkansas Derby winner. But Renegade, Further Ado, Commandment, Chief Wallaby, the Puma, they've all kind of got similar credentials. So it's not like one of those years in the Derby where there's just an overwhelming standout. There's maybe you could make a pretty good case for maybe 6, 7, 8 horses that have a chance to win.
So do you like it when there's not that overwhelming favorite, when it looks like there are at least 3, 4, 5 horses at the top that almost anyone can win it? Or are you one of those no, I want to see the dominant go out and win. I want to see greatness.
Yeah, for me, for betting, I prefer that. I prefer having the dominant horse because it makes the betting a little less complicated. A couple of the big Derby scores I've made, I've hit superfectas with the first 4 in order, where I've conceded the race to somebody like California Chrome back in 2014, Big Brown back in 2008. I was certain they were going to win, so that just makes the betting much simpler. So, yes, I would prefer it that way, but that's not what we have, so you deal with what's in front of us.
So looking as far as I know, the Kentucky Derby, it's a lot of pageantry, a lot of excitement for a very quick race. What's a reasonable time, or what's kind of the pace time, I guess you would say, as far as what should the winner look at as far as the winning time for one of the horses that crosses the line?
Right. So there's a great prop bet at BetOnline, over under on the time. It's 202.5. So we're talking 2 minutes, 2 seconds. So 122 seconds basically is what we're talking about. And that's why they call it the fastest 2 minutes in sports. Now, only one horse has ever gone under 2 minutes in the Derby. That was Secretariat back in 1973. But yeah, you basically think 2 minutes, and you're gonna be about what it's going to take to win the race.
We're talking with Dick Girardi, who's here thanks to BetOnline. Check out BetOnline for the most up-to-date odds and props on the 152nd running of the Kentucky Derby. For those out there that want to put a little scratch down but don't quite know too much about the ponies, what's something they should be looking for? I'm not asking you to go out and give a pick necessarily, but what's something,
Sure.
If you're looking at the odds, if you're looking at potential props, what's something that potential bettors should keep an eye on?
So try to find a horse that maybe frame some bets around. What's a horse you feel really confident is going to run somewhere in the top 3 or 4? And for me, that horse is the 6, Commandment. I just think he's the most logical horse. He's not necessarily the horse I'm picking to win, but just a horse that you can frame bets around. That's one thing. And then if you find a horse that you really like, try to determine, all right, how much do I like this horse versus what kind of a price am I going to get? And in my case, I like the non-Bourbon, the horse from Japan, who's a Kentucky bred, but it's raced in Japan. He's 13 to 1 at Bet Online, meaning you bet $1, you win 13 for each dollar you bet. You know, you can interpret that all the way up. You bet 1,000, you win 13,000. So it just depends on what your risk is. But yeah, that's kind of a way to look at it. And there's a million bets that you can play. And as you said, there's all these prop bets at Bet Online where you can bet the winning distance over under a length and a half. I would recommend over under what the time is going to be, and you know, will this horse beat this horse? It's just a myriad of ways to bet the Derby.
As someone that follows horse racing the way that you have over these years, we don't talk much about kind of the jockeys, but how important are they? Are there any storylines or kind of, you know, any sort of information on, you know, do jockeys have a certain horse that they like, or do they go out there and, you know, do they turn up kind of like Rory McElroy in the Masters? Do they have like a little bit of a hot streak of weather in the Kentucky Derby?
Yeah, look, there's certainly a factor, but the way I would look at it for novices that are just getting into the sport, the horse is the player, right? Imagine it's a football team. The trainer is the coach, and the jockey's kind of the third most important, and they really don't hang with the horse that much. They just get on the horse in the paddock and then go ride. But you'd rather have one of the top ones than not, because there's the instantaneous decisions you have to make in the race. The bigger the race, the more pressure there is. So you want one of those guys, but ultimately no jockey can make a slow horse run fast, and that's why it's called horse racing.
All right, I'm going to ask a weird question here, but I'm a guy who likes prop bets, and I'm seeing this on here, and I'd like to know,
Yep.
I guess, how often this happens, because there is a bet right now, a prop bet right now,
Yep.
whether or not any horse will drop a deuce on the track on the ride to the gate. Yes is 3-2. No is 1-2.
Yep.
How often does this happen? Because I guess I feel like the answer is yes, because I remember reading the book Everybody Poops, but I feel like dropping something down, no pun intended, on this bet. So how often does something like that happen?
Regularly in post parades. And what you needed to happen to cash this bet at Bet Online, if you say it's going to happen, if you go with yes, it needs to happen on television on NBC to be able to cash it. But yes, the poop prop bet has been around for a couple of years now at Bet Online.
Final question, Dick. We look at, you know, the glitz and the glamour that come with the Kentucky Derby, and celebrities are usually out there. And I'm seeing on Bet Online, there are odds for certain football players and some of the bigger figures in pop culture. Just kind of give us a little bit of a preview on, you know, celebrity appearances there at the Kentucky Derby.
So over the years, Michael Jordan has been a regular. He used to hang at a place called the Mansion, which is up on the very top part of the Churchill Downs grandstand. I know Tom Brady has been a regular. There was actually a year where Brady was there, and then you'll love this. This is real serious jet set. Then he got on a private plane and flew to Vegas for a big fight that night. So you could see him in both places. And you can do that, obviously. The Vegas fights start at midnight. So, yeah, he did the Derby, and then literally right across the street is the Louisville Airport from Churchill Downs. So a lot of sports stars, a lot of Hollywood stars. It's a huge deal. People like to show up, and I'm sure NBC devotes a lot of time on their broadcast tomorrow to seeing what celebrities are there.
All right, Dick, we'll get you out of here with this. There's going to be a good number of celebrities there. While at the track or out and about in your various journeys, have you ever been starstruck by someone?
Let me think about it. Not necessarily at the racetrack. Before I got into business, I went to visit Muhammad Ali at Deer Lake in PA before he fought George Foreman in Zaire when I was a kid. That would probably be the most starstruck I ever was. And it's the only autograph I ever got. It's the only one I ever want. Really? And I still have it. It's been misplaced in the house, but it's here somewhere.
Wow. And that's a flex. Like, that is a flex. Dick, we appreciate you hopping on with us, talking some Kentucky Derby.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Dick Girardi discussing the Kentucky Derby presented by our friends at betonline.ag, the 152nd running of the Kentucky Derby. And listen, there will be a lot of money moved tomorrow at 5:57, and a lot of tickets being cashed at 6 o'clock.
What I find wild is that they have all these various bets and whatnot. And of course, I mentioned the other one, whether or not a horse will poop on the track. But they have, your odds to win the race, and then they have the odds to finish last.
Wow.
But of the odds to win, you think last place would be the one. No, that ain't the case.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, Right to Party is the longest, or tied for the longest odds to win the race. They're both 75-1, Right to Party and Albus. But the ones to finish last is Six Speed, who's third from last.
That's wild.
Intrepido, who looks like it's maybe of the 20 others, like 15th. He's finished second. Hold on, wait a minute. You're telling me who has the worst odds to win doesn't have the best odds to lose?
So
I don't know. That feels like a little easy money right there. Hold on now. Hold on. Something feels odd.
Man, but that's the thing, man. It's the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. Like, it's literally 5:57. You're gonna know a winner by 5:59, 6 o'clock. So and if you don't watch the commercials on the last sitcom that you watch, and pull over to the Kentucky Derby, and then get back to the top of the hour.
That's why when we had Joe Tess and we were talking about WrestleMania on whatever about a month ago, and Greg was like, "Ooh, like a 2-hour pregame for WrestleMania." Like, oh, that feels like a lot. There's a lot, and I understand that would be a lot of pregame coverage for this. But this is tune in on 5:55.
Right.
The race. I'm good. How into horse racing are you?
Not very.
Okay.
I just I like the names.
Yeah.
Like, it's the Kentucky Derby. I will literally lock in for minute and a half, 2 minutes, and feel like I just watched, a full game. Like, oh, okay, that was exciting. All right, on to the next.
It can be exciting. I mean, it is. I've never really bet on it, but for some reason, it is exciting.
Yeah.
Like, when you're watching the race, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is, especially when you have a photo finish or it can be really, really exciting. But to me, I guess, I've never been, honestly. I don't really have the desire to go, and I understand. It feels like a combination of the Masters and the infield at Talladega, because you have some people that are out there with the hats and the dresses and whatnot. Then you have the infield that they just out there partying. It is Kentucky after all.
Right, we're here for a good time.
Yeah, but I feel like this race is the biggest because people do want to see a Triple Crown winner.
Right.
And for the longest time, we hadn't had one in 30 plus years. Then we got a couple. But this one was always like, okay, because this one was always exciting because, all right, whoever wins this one, they're automatically going to be the favorite. And so I felt bad for, I think Preakness is next, and then Belmont is last. I always felt bad for Belmont because, if Preakness, if someone else wins, it's like, all right, well, I don't care no more. I'm out.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, if whoever won the first race, when they go win the second one, you're watching it for them, it's like, all right, are they going to get the second leg?
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Then I'm definitely not watching the third one. I'm out after that.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter at that point. Okay, this is fun. I wonder if any of our listeners, 205-834-9450, have you ever been to the Kentucky Derby? Where does the Kentucky Derby line on your, I guess you'd say, bucket list sporting events? Because, again, don't want to disrespect it because it is history. It's again, one of the most exciting 2 minutes of your life. But where does it rank? Because, again, a lot of people look toward the Masters, being in Augusta for the weekend. It's kind of one of those bucket list items that, hey, man, the ticket up out here is ridiculous. But where does the Kentucky Derby kind of fall into it? Because, again, you kind of have to dress the part that goes along with it. You can't go in there, you probably could, but there's kind of a dress code. It's kind of looked at as one of the pop culture things of, hey, you want to dress a little bit classy. You got the 3-hour, 4-hour pregame, pre-show, whatever horse preparedness, I guess. And then you got 2 minutes, and it's like, oh, well, that was quick. It's over. So I don't know. It just, again, I'm not going to disrespect it, but it does not fall into kind of my sports lore. I would like to eventually go to a Super Bowl, preferably if the Tennessee Titans are playing, and also that, if in the event that we are playing in the Super Bowl in 2030, we get to stay at home. Or let me rephrase that. When we play for the Super Bowl in 2030, we'll be at home. That's the one I want to go to.
Okay. We have established that Pete will need to leave the Titans to be great or hook up with reporters.
Okay.
And so when Cam Ward plays in new Nissan Stadium in that Super Bowl, 4, I don't know, maybe the Chiefs because they moved on from Mahomes. Mahomes retired, and he signs a deal over there. How heartbroken are you going to be? I mean, you get a chance to go because we are the Titans affiliate. I'm pretty sure maybe some strings could be pulled to get you up there. And you're going to see your boy out there winning a Super Bowl.
Right. He's in a doggone New York Giants uniform. It's like, wow, full circle moment, isn't it? Full circle
Taking
moment.
on Keldrick Falk, who's who somehow made his way to the Dolphins.
Hey, man, listen, and I know we hadn't really talked about the whole Vrabel Rossini situation. I guess you could say it's a little bit more personal for me.
A little bit, right? Yeah.
It's a little bit deeper. But when you look at the trajectory of the Tennessee Titans, when all in the event that these things are true, like you could start to. I'm not putting the blame on Rossini or Vrabel, but when I look at Mike Vrabel now, it's, well, how focused were you as the Tennessee Titans head coach? Like, did this kind of lead towards a path of destruction that you thought that would never be uncovered? And now that things are starting to appear, it's like, oh, so you left us. Now, granted, you have to fall on your face a little bit. You put your pride to the side when being an analyst for the Cleveland Browns. And now you're the head coach of the New England Patriots. And the first year, the second year that you're there, you mess around and go to the Super Bowl. So you're telling me this could have happened years ago if you would have been locked in?
I don't know. Maybe he was locked in. Maybe that's what made him lock in.
Yeah. And then you kind of go back, and she was always in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, dang, I don't recall Diana Rossini. Like, I thought she was more of a bigger reporter where she would just pop around to some of the bigger games in the NFL. But whenever the Titans had a home game, she was always there. Like, I was like, okay, like maybe something.
Ain't you getting married in 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Then why you?
No, I'm just looking at it in totality. I'm just going.
Okay.
I'm just
all right.
going back to where it all started, and it's like, man, maybe our season going. Okay, so did she influence any decisions? Was Mike Vrabel? Did they have discussions? Were there reports from the AJ Brown trade, and like, did we need to know all of this information beforehand? Like, when was all this breaking? And does it coincide to, when situations were getting a little hot and steamy? And it just, it's hard to question. It's easy. It's hard not to question a lot of these things because now it's like, well, Vrabes, how locked in were you as the Tennessee Titans head coach? Like I embraced you. I loved you. I hated to see you go. Now
Apparently so did she.
Now it's, man, I think we might have dodged a bullet now, looking back on it, but who knows, man? 205-834-9450.
Get that off your chest, didn't you?
Say what?
You had to get that off your chest, didn't you?
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
been holding that in.
It's
okay.
Because as more things have been, leaking out and being reported, it's just
in that whole situation with Diana and Vrabel, you know who actually is the happiest about their situation right now?
Who's
is
that?
The two of them because of that executive at J.P. Morgan.
Oh, that's crazy. It's crazy. And then to find out, like, not too long after that this was just absolutely false. Like, this was completely blown out of proportion, and it's absolutely insane. But the story in itself was pretty entertaining. It was like, whoa, like, okay, this is complete left turn. Like, this is very.
That was some scary movie Wayne's Brothers stuff. Like, okay, like
right,
it's hilarious. Don't get me wrong. It feels like
commentary,
a bit much, but okay.
Like, people use this language just throughout their lives, like just on the regular basis. Like,
canons? Okay, sure.
It's insane. Oh, man, 205-834-9450. More Mac Cube on the other side. 9:22 here on McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Damian Mitchell, John Saybear here with you for the final hour. Cole hopping on the plane, getting ready to head to Washington, D.C. for the call of the Renegades and the D.C. Defenders for the UFL coming up tomorrow at 11 a.m. And something I just scrolled across on Twitter. At Vinny's Corner 1 on Twitter, he has the top 25 running backs in college football since 2000. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna start from 25 down to up to 1. Number 25, he has Kadeem Carey from Arizona, Willis McGahee from Miami, Leonard Fournette from LSU, Melvin Gordon, Wisconsin, Darren Sproles, Kansas State, Steve Slayton, West Virginia, from 25 to 20. At 19, he has D'Angelo Williams from Memphis, which he was a dog. At 18, he has Trent Richardson, 17, Mark Ingram, 16, Dalvin Cook, 15, Donnell Pumphrey, San Diego State. I do remember he was toting that thing a lot. 14, Breece Hall, 13, Cedric Benson, 12, Christian McCaffrey, which is that's disrespectful. 11, Travis Etienne, 10, LaMichael James, 9, Garrett Wolfe, 8, Ashton Jeanty, 7, Saquon Barkley, 6, Monty Ball. And here are your top 5. At number 5, Adrian Peterson, Oklahoma.
Okay, yeah, understandable.
Number 4, Derrick Henry, Alabama.
Okay, double understandable.
Number 3, Darren McFadden, Arkansas.
Okay, yeah.
Number 2, Reggie Bush, USC.
All right.
And number 1, Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin. Listen, I like Jonathan Taylor. Mm-hmm. Thought he was a great running back at Wisconsin and in the NFL. But you are going to have to present to me an argument besides, and I understand, like Wisconsin back then, they were handing the running back the ball literally 40 to 50 times a game. Understandable when it comes to workload.
If they'd have started 1 year before, they would have had a Heisman Trophy winner on this list, but okay.
Yeah. But again, no disrespect to Jonathan Taylor, but he is not better than Reggie Bush, Darren McFadden, Derrick Henry, Adrian Peterson. You can argue Monty Ball, like they both played in the same system. But I think Christian McCaffrey coming in at 12 is also extremely disrespectful.
And Willis McGahee being in the bottom 20, he should be at least be in the top
half. And
like I don't know if I maybe can't put him in the top 10, but he is at least top half of that list. He's not bottom half, let alone in the 20s.
Also, if we're talking strictly college, why you don't have Cadillac and Ronnie Brown, 2 top 5 NFL draft picks, in the same backfield? Like they were splitting time and still both got drafted in the top 5. How they're not in the top 25 in this discussion? Listen, I'm just reading off the list, but Mike.
Only one of Darren McFadden, like of that backfield that Arkansas had.
Yeah.
Just Darren McFadden like that.
Felix Jones has an argument. And again, Trent Richardson being at 18, if you're talking strictly when he was in college, again, Mark Ingram has the Heisman, but if you want to have a discussion about them being top 10, and again, these lists are subjective, to each its own. Listen, I love Travis Etienne, but I don't think that he's better than Christian McCaffrey was when he was in college. Now, he did tote that rock when he was at Clemson, but Christian McCaffrey, again, when you talk about Swiss Army knife, can do everything out of the backfield. And all it does, you can watch him in the NFL. That's exactly how he was playing when he was at Stanford.
Yes.
But again, the system that he was running, he wasn't asked to do all that stuff. But when the ball was in his hands, he knew what to do with it. Listen, again, Jonathan Taylor being the best running back since the year 2000, to each their own. I find that hard to believe because again, pound for pound, he's not better than Reggie Bush, Darren McFadden, Derrick Henry, Adrian Peterson. I wouldn't even put him above Saquon Barkley. Ashton Jeanty, you can say the quality of competition that he was playing against, so be it. But his runner-up Heisman year there at Boise State, he was toting that thing. LaMichael James, I don't think he was ever a top 10 running back in college football since the year 2000.
Is this the same person that put out the top QBs of the 2000s and put Baker Mayfield at
No, that was ESPN. That was ESPN.
Okay.
This is FanDuel.
Okay, so
this is FanDuel.
So both of them just out here being egregious. Okay.
Yeah. Again, like I know I'm young, but I don't think I'm not buying that one. I can't really co-sign that, but to each their own. They also have the top 25 college football wide receivers since the year 2000 as well. Listen, I played receiver, and you can argue that they come a dime a dozen, but there are some that separate themselves from the rest. So I'm just going to give you the top 10. Again, this is from @Vinny'sCorner1 on Twitter. It's got FanDuel top 25 college football receivers since the year 2000. At number 10, they have Braylon Edwards from Michigan. Number 9, Calvin Johnson, Georgia Tech, which, again, the system didn't really help him.
Correct,
but come on now, you can't chisel a receiver better than that. At number 8, Mike Williams, USC. This one hits a little deep. Number 7, he has Corey Davis from Western Michigan, which, as a Titans fan, again, didn't necessarily live up to the hype. Quality number 2, but was never a number 1.
But there was, but also this is college, and there was a reason he was drafted like
100%.
Yeah.
As PJ Fleck, there's a reason. There's a reason why Western Michigan during that year was at a different level. At number 6, Tavon Austin. Great highlight tape. Legendary highlight tape. Number 5, Justin Blackman. I'm telling you, I know he had his issues in the NFL. If you don't remember Justin Blackman.
No, as a college receiver, he was borderline unstoppable.
Absolutely. At number 4, Jamar Chase, LSU.
Okay, right, yeah.
Number 3, Larry Fitzgerald. At Pitt. Still have yet to see him drop a pass ever in his career that ever hit his hands. Never seen it. At number 2, Heisman Trophy winner, Devontae Smith, Heisman from the University of Alabama. And number 1, Michael Crabtree. Okay. The names, perfectly understandable.
No Jefferson?
Justin Jefferson does not make the list at all in all 25 that I'm seeing right now. Again, to each their own.
I do think Jamar was better in college. I will say that. I did, but I mean, come on now.
Yeah, I think you're splitting. Listen, you can argue the names, which I'm perfectly fine with the top 10. I think Amari Cooper being at 11. I think he's better than Braylon Edwards. I would have had him in my top 10.
Julio Jones. Again, I'd probably have him in the top 10, but I assume he's on the list somewhere. But
no, not at least. Again, this is the only list I'm seeing is 25, and he's nowhere on the.
Okay, well 25. Then he's not on the list, and therefore we're about to. I'm about to block this guy. Obviously don't know ball.
Just to give the rest, 11 is Amari Cooper, 12 Golden Tate, 13 Devontae Adams, 14 Jeremiah Smith. We're already putting him in the best to ever do it category.
Wow.
Brother's still playing, which, again, he's trending that way, which, again, understandable. Number 15, Percy Harvin. 16, Jeremy Maclin. 17, Ryan Broyles, which is very disrespectful to have him at 17. So, okay, we'll debate that later. 18, Stedman Bailey at West Virginia. I don't remember Stedman ever being a number 1 target at West Virginia. But to each their own. 19, Andre Johnson. 20, Charles Rogers. 21, Corey Coleman, which he was a dude. Number 22, Rashawn Woods. 23, Marvin Harrison Jr. 24, Jerry Jeudy. And 25, Roma Dunze. I'm not getting jiggy with this list at all. I'm not.
I'm over it.
I don't like this.
Again, I don't remember hearing at some point Julio Jones should have been on there.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he would be there, but he at least should be 25.
Yeah.
He definitely should be higher, but like to not even include him on the list, like, all right, this dude is
and Jerry Jeudy, I understand, won a Biletnikoff. I think Calvin Ridley was always better than Jerry Jeudy. I think Devontae Smith was always better than Jerry Jeudy. I know they shared the field at the same time. Julio Jones was better than Jerry Jeudy. I would argue Henry Ruggs was a better receiver than Jerry Jeudy.
I don't think you'd be wrong.
Right. Like, I think Jerry Jeudy kind of gets in that mode of, for the system in which he played in, where he was at that time, I can understand. But as far as the most polished receiver, I don't think that he was better than really. And you can, it's worth a debate. Like, I think Jameson Williams was a better receiver than Jared Jeudy was. The speed helps.
Yes.
And Jared Jeudy was more flashy. He was more elusive. But as far as when you look at just, again, I'm looking at from strictly a receiver's perspective, I think that they were more polished than he was. Not to say that he was phenomenal in an Alabama uniform, but I don't think that he was better than a lot of guys that were ahead of him during that time. And I think Amari Cooper is vastly underrated, like in just his career as a receiver.
Yeah, he's sadly easily forgotten.
Yeah,
because he was after Julio Jones, who was, I mean, I know I've been harping on him a lot, but I mean, he was almost like the last generation's Randy Moss.
Yeah.
Like he was big, fast, physical, strong, and was just hard to stop. And then you had an Amari Cooper, but then after Amari, then you just started having the run.
Right.
So it was almost like he was at the wrong time.
Yeah.
That's why he's like often forgotten, because he won the first one and won a real tall one, and he wasn't part of the strings of just murderer's row of the ones like the first round. I know he was a first round pick, but like the consistent first round picks, and so he's easily and sadly constantly forgotten.
Bro, like Amari Cooper to me, and again, like I've always kind of I've understood the Julio Jones argument because of just how superior athletically he was. But when you talk about just overall receiver, I don't think anybody has ever done it in Alabama uniform better than Amari Cooper. Like I used to watch his his wide receiver tape because I was in college the same, like he was on his way out as I was coming in. And I'm just remember like, oh my God, you can't run routes with the fluidity that he did them. Like anything on the route tree, he could run it, and you didn't know what was coming at you. Like the way that he ran his routes, getting in and out of breaks, the fluidity in his hips, like he was the standard of how you're supposed to play the receiver position. And again, being a number 11, cool. Braylon Edwards, I vaguely remember him. I was young, but I remember him being a top. He got drafted to the Cleveland Browns.
The Bears, maybe?
One of them.
Yeah.
But I remember him being early on at Michigan. Calvin Johnson, yes, like Megatron. He couldn't help that he played in the system in Georgia Tech where they were handing that thing off a lot. But by God, if you needed if number 21 was out there on an island with a DB, more chances than not, a lot of receivers say it's not 50-50 balls. No, it was more like 80-20 receiver to DB. Like the DB would just get lost behind Megatron going up and catching it. Tavon Austin, Swiss Army knife. You could put him anywhere, outside, inside, line him up in the backfield. Again, if you go back, his highlight tape is elite of the elite. And Jamar Chase, and again, he took a year off after the national championship year, took that COVID year, just trained, get ready for the NFL, and people tend to forget.
Yeah.
Like you see, he's always been like that.
It's funny how someone like him, or I know you're going to hate this and roll your eyes, but like Eli Manning, like people will forget like what happened like draft time. Just remember like the greatness once they've got to the NFL. People will forget that Jack Jamar took that whole year off. That people love Eli Manning, but forget that and like he put his foot down and like I ain't playing.
I'm not playing for this
San
Diego.
No, someone else can. Like John Elway did the same thing too. We will forget that.
Yeah.
Especially if it works out. Not if it doesn't. Ugh. So if Jamar Chase were having I don't know, maybe Judy's career. Like people are like, oh, see, maybe you should have gone to college instead of play. But no, he's definitely a top 5 receiver in the league. So yeah, people wouldn't have. So hey, for those out there, maybe taking a year off, it can't help. It can't work.
Also, you'll have Jeremiah Smith in, but not Dez Bryant when he was at Oklahoma State.
Yeah, you would think that.
Like we're already putting Jeremiah Smith in there, but no Dez Bryant. Okay. 205-834-9450. We'll get some of your reactions because a lot of people are texting in about again, this is FanDuel. FanDuel put their top 25, well, top 50, but only 25 are in the graphic. College football receivers since the year 2000 also saw running backs. Get your reaction on the other side. 205-834-9450. Keep it locked right here on Mac and Q.
You want to do it? We can
Kinda.
bring Molly in. She's right here.
Yeah.
Where we got 3 generations amongst us.
That is true. Welcome back into McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. You never know what happens during commercial breaks here in the station. So we heard
blame Jamie Johnson.
Yeah,
it's his fault.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay off the tease. Let me go. And again, in our last segment we discussed FanDuel's top 25 list of college football running backs and also receivers since the year 2000. And there were some notable omissions, and I want to make sure I give people's time and some of the people that text in when I was reading off the list. 205-834-9450. Somebody text in and says, how do you not put Dez Bryant in the top 25 receivers? I'm right there with you.
That's egregious.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And also Mike Evans. Mike Evans, the Texas A&M. Brother, if you're going to put, and again, no disrespect to some of the guys that were on there, but if you're going to give me a discussion that Jeremiah Smith is already a top 25 receiver of all time since the year 2000, but
Mike Evans
ain't.
Yeah, that's a
come on now. Come on now. And a lot of people going back, you had the discussion with some of the Alabama receivers. Somebody texts in, I think at times we look at Julio through rose-colored glasses, crimson-colored glasses, especially after a Hall of Fame NFL career. One of my favorites, but had a lot of drops and barely broke 1,000 yards once in 3 seasons, and the other 2 wasn't even close. Fair, but when you look at one, he came in, when you look at just pure size, and when you look at the receivers that were before him and what started changing of the guard after him, he was the one that you looked at and was like, those are the receivers that Alabama's getting now? Okay, yeah,
he marked the transition.
Yes. Yeah. So I understand the numbers may not reflect that, but when you looked at an 18-year-old Julio Jones and say you looked at an 18-year-old Tyrone Prothro and guys that were before him, it's, okay, yeah, these receivers look a little different. And that's why I say, like, Amari Cooper, to me, he's my favorite Alabama receiver because he also embodied what was, again, at the changing of the times of what receivers are going to look like moving forward in the Saban era. And then you look at, the years after him when you got 4 first-round picks being out there at one time with one winning the Heisman Trophy in Devontae Smith. But we appreciate all the feedback, 205-834-9450. Molly Robinson, would you hop in for a second? And something that happened during the break, we heard a commercial for a concert that's coming here in Birmingham, Alabama. Also, he said Jamie Johnson in it, right?
Correct, yes.
And we were talking about some of the iconic songs, and now we're sitting here now as a trifecta of generations. And you, Molly Robinson of 3-Man Front.
Yes, hello, everyone.
Well, yeah, welcome into McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Damian Mitchell, John Saber here with you. So we started talking about concerts, and you talked about the Garth Brooks concert that you were at.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that was one of the best concerts you've ever been to.
It was unreal. So it was August of 21 during his stadium tour. I think he came to Protective as well, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the year after.
Protective,
but he came to Lincoln when I was at Nebraska. And what made it so amazing was, yes, it was Garth Brooks. So it was just an unreal show that he put on. But part of it was that was the first big event kind of after COVID, because I was in college.
Right.
And so that was the first time that, you saw the stadium packed out with people again. Like, we got to hang out with our friends without masks, like that type of thing. So everything about it, like, still to this day, one of my favorite concerts I've ever been to.
She said, and I quote, an out-of-body experience when he started.
I did. It was when he sang, it was awesome.
Friends in Low Places.
Unreal.
So, again, that song has stretched across generations.
Yes.
And we had a conversation that culturally it's an equivalent to Frankie Beverly and Maze's Before I Let You Go.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I don't know what the Coach on the Field version of the Cookout is.
Right.
But that plays at some point, and it gets everyone going.
Right. So it's funny that we had this conversation and we brought in Molly, and it's what would be this generation's, and you're a little bit younger than I am, but like, what is kind of that one song now that gets everybody from the old to the young moving? That's kind of I guess you'd say a modern day spiritual.
See, my generation, because I'm Gen Z. Now, Gen
100%.
Z, like, we're kind of, but I'm what we call older Gen Z.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't identify
You're
with the
flirting with
longer.
Gen Alpha,
Yeah. And I'm a younger millennial.
Yeah, like I'm older Gen Z, and I don't identify with a lot of these younger Gen Z because some of them are still in high school. But the first one that I kind of thought of, it's kind of funny, but Gangnam Style, that was really big when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
But the other one I thought of was Party in the USA. I feel like that song is played at every Gen Z
That
event,
is-
or even millennial. I feel like that's a
Yeah.
big millennial one.
because it's the little bit of nostalgia from Miley Cyrus.
Because I grew up with
separating herself
Hannah
from-
Montana,
Right.
And it was kind of that era when she was shifting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's the end of the Hannah Montana where we're all teenagers and we're
Right.
like getting over the Disney phase,
Yeah.
and then Party in the USA is like, oh, like this is Miley Cyrus, like this is 100% her.
Or like Party Rock Anthem, like that was a big one when
Oh,
I was in
boy,
middle
yeah.
school.
I
I'm
have
thinking of
turned it-
songs from when I was in late middle school to early high school.
See, like for my generation, I guess you would say, I say my generation, but it's younger, but it's served its time for sure. Is Mr. Brightside.
Oh, great
Oh
song.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
for whatever reason that killer song is the anthem of the 30-ish folk.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I was a little young when it came out, but as I could, like everywhere I go, no matter if it's a sporting event, wedding reception, just out in just the public sphere,
Actually,
it never dies.
I think the one that's bigger, but it won't be played at like the cookout or the barbecue, whatever, is a Seven Nation Army.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
That's
a
the
good
one that I think
Mhm.
I gets them jumping, but that figure that's only a stadium anthem. Like you're
True.
not really necessarily playing that as okay, all right, well, we already heard this Drake song. Let's play. Oh, Seven Nation. Like you're not playing that.
Yeah.
That's not. While I know that's big for the younger crowd, I feel like it's only a stadium rock.
Yeah. A Party in the USA, like now that you said it out loud, it's like, dang, yeah, that is kind of the
Yeah,
that more
that's kind
so
of the
than-
Gen Z.
More so than Shake It Off. 'Cause
Ooh, Shake It Off,
I
that's
feel
a
like
good
that's
one.
the one that
Yeah.
would be played at weddings, and that would.
You hear Shake It Off
I mean,
all
yeah,
the time.
Party in the USA probably would be, but I feel like of all of her songs, like that's the one that not only spans generations, but also I think it gets people to the dance floor.
I really think most songs from the 2010s, because that was kind of the bulk of like me growing up.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Because when I was in college, like that was when 1989 came out, when 2014, 15?
2014.
14? Yeah, I was just
Mm-hmm.
getting into college, and Blank Space was
Oh, yeah.
out. Style. Couldn't
Great
go anywhere.
song.
Yeah, couldn't go anywhere without hearing that. Bad Blood.
Oh yeah.
That's a banger. Like,
See, I was in 8th grade.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Yeah.
Love how you had, yeah, we're basically the same age. and
Yeah.
they- right? Yeah. You
Yeah.
sure about that?
Yeah, no,
A little Tim Robbins right now. You sure about that?
like yeah, but yeah, it's kind of just one of those things that bridges the gaps. But no matter what creed, nationality, religion, color you are, you hear this song, everybody's kumbaya. Like
Party
everybody's
in the
gonna,
USA.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Because again, she makes references like, and the Jay-Z song came on. Like she makes references to, like, hey,
Yeah.
never would have thought I'd hear Miley Cyrus and reference Jay-Z. Now, this is mine. I guess people will laugh at me. They already do. But Florida Georgia Line, they had a song, "Talk You Out of It," where they have a line saying, "Now you're looking like a line in a Vandross song." Like that's a deep cut,
Oh.
dog. Like that's bridging bro country into our old school R&B. Vandross,
Also-
Luther, Big Luther.
Keep in mind, at least for Gen Z women now, we grew up on like One Direction and
Oh, for
5
sure.
Seconds of Summer. So any 1D song
Yeah.
that's played, like I go to so many weddings where like What Makes You Beautiful plays, and everyone, like
Banger.
every girl is on the dance floor.
Yeah, you light up my world
Yes.
like nobody else. Yeah, and I was a little older. Like I had a license when that song came out.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a
little
license.
older. Okay.
Yeah, I was a little older, bro.
So you out here McConaughey and Dazed and Confused. Okay, I see what you're saying.
See, I think
Trolling
that
the
was
1D the concert.
No,
Hey,
but
you
yeah,
wanna
I was
ride?
a little
Okay.
older.
See, I think that was like 5th grade for me.
Sounds about right. I am no mathematician, but
Yeah.
it sounds about right. But no, One Direction. I played I played Drag Me Down
Oh.
during Morning Jocks, and Conrad was like, "Who is this?" I was like,
What?
brother."
Oh,
I
man.
was offended. I was like, "Come on now, big dog. You don't know this?" He
Yeah.
was like, "I know." I was like, "Zayn had just left the group. This is like
Yeah,
their first.
it
This is
was
like their
huge. It was a
first
huge deal.
banger without Zayn, and I didn't think they
Man.
could do it."
I will never forget. I would think I was 15 or 14 when he left, and it just changed my life.
Again, I was in college. Yeah, I was old.
Okay, I'd only been working here for 4 years at the time. but
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
and this was big news. And
It was huge news at the time.
And I've made this comparison about the One Direction and how they had New Edition qualities because Zayn was the first one to leave unceremoniously, and his first song out was Pillow Talk. Like it was completely different from what he did in One Direction.
Like 180.
Yeah, it was like Bobby Brown when he left New Edition. He came out with My Prerogative. It's you grown, dog. My apologies, Big Bobby.
He just followed the Disney playbook.
Yeah, do all the bubblegum stuff.
Right.
Like, hey, man, I'm shaving. I don't need to be talking about, that's what makes you beautiful. Like, I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to spread my wings. He did that with Pillow Talk.
It's, I'll have her home at 10. And now she calls me daddy now. Yeah, there's a big difference now.
And that's when he was dating Gigi Hadid as well. I'm pretty sure.
Sure did. Did the Weeknd date Gigi or Bella?
Bella. Mm-hmm.
It goes back to the Bruce Wayne discussion we had yesterday. The brother makes good music when he's brokenhearted. I'm just going to put it like that. Oh, somebody brings up a good point on the text line. Uptown Funk.
Oh, that's such a good one. You hear that everywhere too.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's I feel like that's a multi-generational song, not necessarily a just for like millennial or just for Gen Z or something.
Yeah.
I feel like that's because that's in the vein
every wedding I go to.
I feel like that's in the vein of like 70s and stuff. So that's timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Uptown Funk is a good one though.
It is indeed.
Any Bruno Mars.
Anything that he's when we look at the totality, when he hangs it up, we're gonna look back and say, like, bro, he had a run that
he did
unstoppable. Like
the Amari Cooper of hitmakers.
I'm telling you, I don't think people really want to get into a versus with Bruno Mars. I would put it like that. I don't think people want to go hit for hit.
Yeah.
And that's why it's very interesting that Usher and Chris Brown are on tour together, because if there was ever going to be an R&B grown and sexy versus that I was going to be in a suit on to listen to these songs, I'm glad they're doing a tour together, because if they went banger for banger, I think it's a lot closer than people expect. We'll put a bow in the show on the other side. Keep it locked right here on Mac and Q. $9:55 here on McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Damien and John here with you for the final hour. Can't get out of here without doing our TD's Fine Furniture Super Sofa game of the weekend. Let me go ahead and tell you, It may not be the season that we want, but I'm still going to lock in. Our Birmingham Stallions on the road taking on the Orlando Storm at 3 p.m. on Sunday. You can find that on Fox. That is where I'm going for my TD's Fine Furniture Super Sofa game of the weekend.
For me, as much as I love football, you give me a Game 7, I'm going to take it. 76ers taking on the Celtics. NBC, Peacock, however you can get it. Saturday, 6:30. That's going to be my TD's Fine Furniture Super Sofa game of the weekend. And get your Super Sofa and more at TD's Fine Furniture during their tax season sale. Over 100,000 square feet of furniture for the entire home with options for every room to fit your style and budget. That's TD's Fine Furniture in Summerton.
We appreciate David Payne-Purdom and also Dick Girardi hopping on with us, talking a little bit gambling, talking the Brendan Swordsby situation with Texas Tech, and also Dick Girardi, presented by betonline.ag, taking a look at the Kentucky Derby. Also, shout out to Molly Robinson hopping in with us, having a little discussion. 3 generations. I'm usually the odd man out when it comes to that, because we have Cole, John, Greg, then I'm the youngster. Then when I finally realize I'm a little bit older, when Molly walks in, and it's like, well, here we go.
You're in your 4th decade of life.
Lord have mercy.
That just hit, didn't it?
When you say it out loud, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. Appreciate everybody hopping on with us. 3-man front coming at you next. We'll talk to you Monday.